A lot of times I almost wonder if I almost sandbag myself in my persona to give me air cover to navigate. I've loved that corporate America and Madison Avenue have put me on the side of like, that's that Twitter kid, like he's just a loud like that's given me the air cover to become dangerous. So I'm willing, this is betting on your strengths. Because I'm willing to take criticism and I don't need, the chief creative officer of Ogilvy to think I'm cool. Like I'm able to navigate through the short term. My whole life has been, you're an idiot, you're wrong, you're ridiculous, you're a genius. Like that's what's so great about business. You're either right or wrong. I'm not worried about getting booed in the second quarter. So I'm meeting a lot of people right now not to invest. I'm meeting because I'm like, oh, you're a number 6. Can't wait till your company goes out of business. And I will send you such a sweet note and be like, come work for me. And what's cool about 6, one thing I don't know yet, because we're gonna have to go through this cycle, but a hypothesis I have is a lot of these number 6s are gonna be unbelievably empathetic to their CEOs and number 1s because they just went through the carnage of getting blown out, which a lot of you didn't have the benefit of because that's not what business school or your MBA or college teaches. So I'm curious, that's gonna be really interesting to watch what the cliche 31-year-old, she ran her business for 6 years, she got blown out because everything was overvalued, but she learned a ton of skills, right? She truly, if she was 20 years older, would have been a Goldman Sachs dynamo, and now she's coming in, but she has a lot of experience, different experience, but she has empathy. Because that's what leaders struggle with, the loneliness. Like it seems super cool. If you want to know why I'm putting out so much entrepreneurship content around fake entrepreneurship, it's to limit the suicides that happen in the inevitable outcome of what's about to happen. I really believe that. I'm very worried about that. Do you know what a public scarlet letter is for a kid that was always successful in school and always lived in fake environments, and now they jump out of Wharton, publicly fail in front of everybody's face? I'm telling you, it is I make that statement and it's because I already know of the suicides that are happening in startup and entrepreneur land, and it's not, when I say it's not being talked about, it's not being talked about. And it's happening because people are not deploying self-awareness. I wish I was a quarterback of the New York Jets. It just wasn't gonna happen. Entrepreneurship's tricky. If you say you're gonna be a rapper or a professional athlete or a supermodel, it kind of is very easy to tell if that's happening. Putting entrepreneur in your Instagram bio because your mom on the back end is subsidizing it. So I'm quite worried about it because I love this. It's the, as you can imagine, I'm emotional about it. It's the thing that put me on. It's going to be massively demonized in America on the back end of this. Because we don't blame ourselves. We blame the banks. The banks ruined our economy in 2007, right? Or was it people that were buying $400,000 homes that were $80,000 in debt, making $72,000 a year? We're not gonna blame ourselves because the Uber of dry cleanings didn't work. It wasn't me, I was sold that entrepreneurship was cool. We don't have accountability, and that leads to remarkable unhappiness. So that's an outrageous soapbox answer to not much. So this machine that is stupid now gets really smart because we'll go from 280 to 590 in revenue in 24 months. It'll be profitable revenue because the world will melt and I'll be able to hire all the people from other agencies for 25 cents on the dollar. At the same time, a bunch of companies are gonna be over leveraged and are gonna go out of business, and I'm gonna be able to buy those businesses with the cash flow of the 590 at higher revenue. Then the economy's gonna turn back in 12 years and I'll be able to sell those businesses at the frothy end and buy the jets. Super Bowls. You see what I'm doing? I'm playing the reverse game. So everybody thinks it's stupid now because they don't understand it's overvalued. Then it's gonna seem very smart. And then I'm able to show this video and be like, it wasn't an accident, which will only compound the smarts of it. And I'll be 62 and have 40 years to play, all on the equity of like pulling off $1 billion thing on smarts, not luck. On humility of eating shit for a decade in my prime, right? Like, kids are gonna watch these videos and be like, he was fucking 39, he was 42. Like, I'm 26, and he was patient, that's why it worked. I'm gonna do it. Nobody's ever seen anybody play it. We didn't get to watch Steve Jobs' first 9 years. And not that I'm that or this and that, it's just like we didn't get to see Bezos packing books. Do you know how powerful it would be right now? How many views do you think? How many views do you think if Jeff Bezos was doing a vlog, those first 50 episodes of him packing books in a fucking garage would have? 80 million? Maybe 14 billion? Right? Everybody would watch it. I mean, everybody. Yeah. So, how'd you like to watch Michael Jordan's first 3 off seasons and the work he put in? So, there's a lot of thought that goes into what I do that I don't speak about or I show glimpses of and things like this. My team talks a lot about like me not talking about being smart. As you guys know, like none of my content is predicated on being smart. That's just gonna speak for itself when it's all said and done. I don't need people to think I'm smart. BMW on money you don't have because you wanna look good amongst your peer set that you've made it and you haven't, you will lose. You will lose. Especially during this era right now where the market is good. If you're not winning right now, you really fucking suck. It's the truth. Because this is not fucking, 2001, this is not 2008. You know how many less people buy water filtration systems when the fucking market collapses? Less people. You know how many less people buy fucking cases of $4,000 wine like today is happening at Wine Library when the market collapses? Less people. You know how many less people are buying fucking homes? A lot less people. Real life. And like, what's so fun for me is this is 100%. I will not live the rest of my life in a bullish market and growth. So like recalling, like I can't wait to air this content the day the whole fucking world melts. And it's gonna be like, I told you so. And I hope you did something about it. Because now it gets really weird.
I heard you make that comment about student loan debt. That's, oh God.
I'm gonna be so right about that.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be so historically right about that. They're lending money to kids in huge debt. There's nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say. The banks are doing it again. This time it's not bullshit mortgage, things you guys understand better. I understand packaging up horse shit and not having a true recognition, a true system. They're like, you guys probably in the younger, you guys know, you have friends or acquaintances who are 180,000 in debt on 9% interest, are making 47,000 a year and are buying expensive shit or have a new apartment. God, do I want the world to melt. You know why? People are confused. Everybody thinks I want the world to melt because I do a bad job communicating, because I like keeping a lot of shit in, that I'm gonna take advantage of it. I want the world to melt because people are gonna be happier.
That's really interesting.
Tom, people are in fake environments. No, listen, this is why Tom's smart, man. He gets it. He gets it right away. I'm serious. People are gonna be happier because everybody's living a fake life right now and keeping up with the Joneses. And when everything melts, everybody gets back to the right. Not paying the piper in 2009 in America for the economic melting and going through 7 years of a recession and us propping up fucked our culture in a way that nobody talks about.
Have you read The Stand by Stephen King?
I don't read shit.
Of course, I already knew the
But
answer. So here we go.
me?
Yeah, because it literally speaks to exactly this.
He's fucking
The
right.
center character of the book is somebody who's just popping off as a musician right when this world-ending flu happens. But the guy survives, and so he goes from everybody loves me, they're treating me
there's
well,
nobody
I've got
left.
free cocaine, and then now no one knows who the fuck I am, and that whole machinery that was about to make me like the biggest thing on the planet just fell out from under him.
And he's solo?
And well, it's not solo because there's enough people to survive, but he realizes like all that bullshit that he was chasing now, it just doesn't exist. So there's like this simplification of life, and to your point, as he gets beyond that hunger for the fame and the adulation and just has to deal with staying alive, like his life actually gets better.
I love this shit so God, can I not wait for the economic meltdown because it's the beginning of happiness at a bigger scale. I love when people are like, oh, you know what the nicest thing ever happened to me ever, Gary? I'm like, what? They're like, somebody sent me a letter. And then like, I'm like, okay. And then like 4 hours later, like texting so impersonal. I'm like, wow, you've literally put the medium on a pedestal, not what was in it. We live in a world right now where we're demonizing technology for no other reason than that you're getting old. like watching it is fat, right? We demonize technology so much that we have to put old school shit on a pedestal. Can somebody logically explain to me like why writing a letter is so this, because they took the extra time? Like I get it, but like what about the extra time they wrote in that massive email where they tried to articulate? Like it's just like, it's fascinating to watch people's ability to demonize the current and put the past on a pedestal. It is what people do. I will not do that. I will be 96 years old and I will be super fired up about the current and I'll be like, you're gonna do it, youngster, do it. You know, like, I'm not gonna be like, back when we did fucking Instagram, you know, that is not gonna happen. Because it's already not happened, it's my DNA. I built Wine Library on the back of email and SEO and banner ads and direct mail. Anybody here live in Jersey for the last 10 years? 10 years? Great, some of you might even see billboards with me, like it was, like that's what the good deal was at the time. I can't wait actually, the real exciting part of my career is upon me. I've exploded during the social media era. When I shit on social media in a decade, that's gonna be a very big kind of like decade for me, because then I'll be able to put the flag in the ground, because people didn't live, I wasn't public when I was obsessed with email or SEO or that stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that, because then people will realize my religion is the attention and the properly priced attention, and then the message that's contextual to that platform. Like, can we please stop putting television commercials on YouTube? We have to make content that's contextual to the medium. Go watch this is back to history, this is where this shows its face. Go watch the first 100 television commercials ever produced in America. They're radio ads. They're a picture and somebody's reading in radio voice. It took time for the Leo Burnett's of the world to invent the Keebler Elves and the Jolly Green Giant. That is my ambition for Vayner, that one day it will be on a pedestal as the organization that understood how to create the contextual creative of that generation.